Hello everyone, let's wait another minute. People are joining this webinar and then we will start. So hello again everyone. Pleasure to meet you here online in the webinar. It's Achieve Data Resilience together with the Veeam Security Integrations. I'm Steve. I work in the Product Management Alliances team as a Security Solutions Architect, covering our security integrations we do have and we do present today live and in color. To slowly bring up to speed some slides, some numbers, probably you already read it. Otherwise, you can see in the chat, I shared some links about the topics we are presenting today. Here from the Risk to Resilience Report 2025, we do have some numbers, or we extracted some numbers out from it. And I want to start with the number 89. 89% of organizations had their backup repository targeted by threat actors. That means, yes, backup is target number one. By the way, we surveyed 1,300 organizations globally in this report. And 69% of them, that's around about 900, they were impacted at least one time by a ransomware attack. And what they also told us is that 52% of them, they need to improve their alignment between the teams within the company. So IT operations together with security teams and so on. There are challenges, yes, but it's important to communicate between the security teams and the other teams. I will come to that later on. Then another number is 11K. This is the average number of alerts that arrive in the SOC center. I would say the number is even higher, but it also depends on the environment which is monitored by the SOC. Challenges in the SecOps team today. Yes, there are challenges. We try with our integrations, you will see it afterward, to keep it simple, to keep it easy to use. So it would help also to run playbooks. Here an example, the tools and playbooks I require a lot of brain power and clicks. Yes, of course that can happen, but still we try to keep it easy. Sometimes it's also hard to track for the teams what happened, when it happened, and who responded. Sometimes you have to filter through duplicate alerts. And then it's then also hard to focus on real threats. That can also lead to slower response time. And you see here one sentence, we receive hundreds of alerts a day. The magic word, you probably heard it, is alert fatigue. And small teams sometimes, they are on call 24/7. Yes, in the end, talent shortage is also here. You are searching for people that understand the environment and also have the knowledge of the security part. Now you might ask, yeah, well, nowadays there is AI. Yes, you can put AI on almost everything, but still you need to understand that AI needs still direction and context. The assistants, the AI assistants, they don't know what to look for unless you ask it clearly. Prompting is key. Here I shared a link for the Veeam intelligence part where we, or CTO from APJ, Ben from Veeam, is sharing good prompts on the web page. Of course, AI also needs to understand your organizations. They don't understand, or they don't have a deep understanding of your organization, the specific behaviors, some special rules you have in place. So that's why AI can assist. At the end, it can support, but it cannot replace, because still the analyst or you need the intuition and the decision making at the end, what to do in case of an issue. Some words about Veeam, security related as well. I want to start with data backup. Yes, we can do backup. Here it's important to save your backups in a secure way. Immutable is a keyword here. The 3-2-1 rule or the 3-2-1-1-0 rule. 1-0 for minimum one copy is immutable or immutability stored, and 0 errors. Data recovery, yes, restore. Maybe you need to do a restore for forensics. Here, together with data portability, we offer you not only to restore back into the production, into the original location, you can restore in another hyperscaler or in another hypervisor solution, or even granularly file recovery, single file recovery, and so on. In the data recovery, there is the possibility also to scan the backups. The marketing word or the word you have to search for in our documentation is Secure Restore. Here we leverage Veeam Threat Center or an antivirus tool that can then scan the backup before we bring it into the production. Data security, I will cover that later on. But again, AI or here data intelligence, yes, our product has the Veeam Intelligence, where you can ask for specific information. What's my backup status, or how is the security posture? Even you can also ask about stuff from the documentation, like how do I need to configure this and that, and then you get an answer. Next, Veeam security. Quickly, I focus now in the middle here. Let me bring up my pen. Here we are here. I'm talking about this part here currently. So from left to right, ransomware prevention. As already said, immutable backup is key. Verified, have multiple copies, and 3-2-1-1-0 rule. Then threat detection. We not only have inline scanning, so during the backup we can already detect something suspicious. No, also afterwards, when you store the backups, we do have the options to do a signature-based scanning, or even add Yara rules to do a specific scanning within the backup files. We also have an IOC2 scanner that together, let's say, is part of the restore point scanning. Keep in mind, for example, an EDR solution, they have to decide in a fraction of a second if it's suspicious or not. And as soon as you have stored the data, you then have really the possibility to get a second opinion about the, let's say, health of your restore points. Not to forget the recon scanner. That's a scanner that scans your backup environment about suspicious activities, scan through it if there is something going on, and if so, yes, you will get informed by this tool as well. Recovery, I already talked about that, so recover anywhere, well, where it's supported from our side, pre-tested. This means also you can restore in a sandbox and check if it's coming up again, what you have backed up, but also you can do a secure restore together with a scan or a Yara scan. Automated recovery, it's the Veeam recovery orchestrator we are talking about here. Here with orchestration rules, you can bring back your environment in a job-based way. Here, please reach out to your Veeam peer or to your Veeam sales team. They are happy to help and assist and do a live demo about that. In this presentation here, automated recovery, here our security integrations or security integrations in general, they can leverage the Veeam data platform REST API, where you can do such workflows like restore, like scan, and so on. Now you get a huge list of vendors that are Veeam qualified, so that's why you see a logo here. I was talking about this here. Let me bring back my pen. First of all, you see Sure Backup Lite, Secure Restore. Here you see some vendors you can use to scan your backups. You also see the Veeam logo. What's that? That's our Veeam Threat Hunter. So they are capable of scanning your backups together with Sure Backup Lite. What's that? That's a job type where you can scan your backups on a regular basis. Not only with the vendors here, but also, for example, with Yara rules. You see other vendors here in the security space like KMS encryption, so key management server, where you can store your encryption keys for encrypting your backups in a good way. You have immutability. Here we talk about object storage, for example, or hardware vendors that have some built-in capabilities or are able to run or store data from our immutable backup repository. Today focus will be here in the SOAR and SIEM area. So SOAR is security orchestration, automation and response. And SIEM is security information and event management. You might ask now, hey, why is there a Veeam logo? Well, we do have Veeam ONE, which is capable of monitoring your environment, not only the backup environment, but also if you use Veeam Backup for Microsoft 365 or even your virtual infrastructure like VMware or Hyper-V. Together with the alarms that can raise there, some alarms, they have some actions defined, means they can automatically trigger, let's say, a script or an action like delete the snapshot, or semi-automatic means an analyst then has to confirm to run this action. So also here, Veeam can help, but there are other vendors on this list that can support you. Now you might ask, hey, I have vendor XYZ. Why is it on this list? Then please reach out to these vendors. Maybe they already have an integration. It's not Veeam, let's say, qualified, but they do have a product that can, for example, monitor or, for example, also do automation and response part. Here, also reach out to your Veeam team or to the vendor that you're using in your environment. So soon there will be live demo. Today I have 4 vendors. We have Palo Alto Networks, we do have CrowdStrike, and we do have Splunk. Though for those 3 vendors, it's Veeam, it's us creating the integration and bring it into the respective marketplace. You see here down below, you can always download and install those integrations from the marketplace. We also have an example with Sophos. Sophos is a managed solution. I will show how does it work and how does it look like. And I want to start with Splunk. That's the wrong screen. Never mind. Here we are. So Splunk, what do we do here? Splunk is used as a SIEM solution that enables the customers to do real-time threat detection, investigation, and response. We can ingest data using Syslog. As soon as you have installed the Veeam app for Splunk, you get 2 dashboards. And you will see in for the next vendors that it's almost always the same. It depends really on what are the possibilities from the vendor. And if there are possibilities to do dashboards, we will do it. And the look and feel is almost the same, which can come in quite handy. Why? Well, maybe you have 2 products installed or you are migrating from one to the other. You have a Veeam integration, so the data you get is always the same. Now I start with Veeam Data Platform Monitoring. Why is that? So first of all, you see here a nice map. As soon as you configure a source, it will show up on the map. And here an analyst can see what's the health status of my backup environment in general. Nothing happening here, you see, just 4 backup jobs. Okay, I will show you other dashboards where you have much more data. The idea here is when you have a lot of failed jobs, then probably there is an issue and you have to check what's going on, maybe in other environments. The most interesting dashboard, I would say, for this webinar here is the Veeam security activities. And here you can see, yes, there are issues. And what we are doing, it's not just only Veeam backup application syslog messages. We also visualize Veeam ONE messages. And you see it on the screen. Here we do have unusual job duration for Veeam backup for Microsoft 365, or possible ransomware activity. That was a virtual machine running crazy in terms of CPU, writes on the hard drive, and network traffic. So that can be a sign of encryption. The overall situation in my environment is critical. Why is that? Well, a lot of activities, and I do have a lot of restore points either marked as infected or as suspicious. I will come later on to the 4 ISO authorization events, but what you always get is also a graph for the past 30 days. What's the overall status for critical, high, medium, and information severity alerts? And on the bottom you get a tabular view with some details about the latest security events coming from Veeam backup application as well as Veeam ONE. Let's scroll back. What else do we have in the Veeam app for Splunk? That's reports. And here we provide currently 7 reports for different kind of, let's say, queries. And I would say the all malware detection events for the last 24 hours is one of the most famous. What can you do here? In Splunk, you can schedule that one. You can open it up, export the data, and forward it or analyze it further when you do, let's say, some forensics. What you also can do is alerts. So that means if something is going on in your environment, we do have every, let's say, event that can be triggered here listed as an alert. And for example, you could send an email, or you can also define an action here, for example, for a specific alert. Let me quickly go to page 3. It should be page 3. Yes, here on the bottom, malware activity detected. Maybe you want to get, or you want to trigger an action when something like this got logged by Veeam backup and application. To finalize the Splunk app here, the Veeam app for Splunk, I want to quickly go into the configuration part. By the way, you can ask questions in the Q&A section of the webinar. I will answer them at the end of the webinar, or try to answer them at least. Otherwise, we will then reach out after the call. Back to the configuration. Here, what we do have, every event listed not only from Veeam backup application, but also from Veeam ONE. And you can here define the severity. Maybe this one for you is not critical, or you can even disable it. Or for non-security relevant information, you can apply them or disable them. So this option is available in the Veeam app for Splunk. To finalize as well, location, here you define which source is installed in which country, and then the nice map you have seen before will show up. So that's the Veeam app for Splunk. Now don't be confused. I'm now quickly switching to a Veeam backup and replication installation, just to show you quickly something nice and useful probably. Options, and in the option menu you have event forwarding, and this is the place where you add the syslog destination. So in this case, this is the syslog destination for the Splunk app. And what you see here down below is filters. And what's that? Already here on the Veeam backend application side, because some solutions don't have a filter capability like Splunk has, then you want to filter the event already here on the source. Now you can add, and you have to add each event ID manually. You can do that if you have time. Please read the documentation. I shared the link with all the event IDs that are coming from Veeam Backup application. Then you also see more details about what's coming in, level of severity, and so on. But doing it manually is maybe not that fun. You can do it once, export this filter file, it's an XML file, and then import it in another installation. What you also see in the chat is a script I created to create such XML files in an automatic way. You just have to define what exactly you want to filter or not. So maybe you only want to send security relevant alerts in error state. That's fine. This script might help. So that's it for syslog filtering. Now let's move to the next vendor, which is the Palo Alto Networks Cortex XIM product. So it's not SIEM, it's XIM. What's XIM? It stands for Extended Security, Intelligence, and Automation Management. So also automation is possible within this product here. It's their next generation platform that also has or also combines AI-driven analytics. You see here already automated. Here, AI can assist you also in closing or resolving case. But I don't want to sell you this product here. I want to show you what's possible with the Veeam integration. And I think you already get it when I click on Veeam security activities. You see here, we also provide two dashboards together with reports. Let's bring up quickly the dashboard because now you have here more numbers. You see, we have issues in this or in these environments. Why is that? Why I say environments? You can filter by data source, so you can ingest from multiple data sources. That's possible, of course. And here, I don't want to explain every widget or every pie chart, but I want to focus on 4 ISO authorization events. Maybe you didn't heard about that functionality in Veeam Backup and Application. Here we do have 3 events, but let's now scroll down a little because different kind of actions in Veeam Backup and Application require an additional backup administrator to either approve or reject the action. And an action can be 4 ISO authorization has been disabled. So 2 times delete backups or delete log backups, configuration backups, and so on. So here it's really required that somebody else is approving or rejecting or after some timeout rejecting the requests. And this also gets visualized and logged in the environment. Let's scroll back and let's go to reports. It's in dashboards and reports, report templates. Also here we provide you with the same reports that you can run on a general base or in a scheduled way. That means yes, daily, weekly, and then it generates within the XIM platform a PDF file, for example. That's also possible with the Veeam app for Palo Alto Networks Cortex XIM. I love the long names. And where is it? It's in the marketplace. I don't want to show you how to download and install it. I want to focus on 2 topics here because I want to switch into the other product we created for the Cortex platform. Let's quickly go to installed content pack. And here you see the Veeam app. And what you can see here is 2 integrations and 4 playbooks, 2 dashboards. That are the dashboards I already mentioned before, but 2 integrations and 4 playbooks. What is this? So now I'm switching into another product where we have an app. That's the Veeam app for the Cortex XOR. What's XOR? It's extended SOAR. It's also a security operations platform by Palo Alto Networks that not only unifies what's ingested, but it also offers some case management and threat intelligence together with automation. Here you see two integrations for playbooks, it's the same, and just one dashboard. I will come to that later on. Let me talk about the integrations. What did we do? How does it work? What does it mean? So as you can see on the screen, we do have an integration for Veeam Backup and Replication and Veeam ONE. And here on a regular basis, we query the endpoints you add. Here I currently have just one per product. We pull data out from it. That means we do REST API queries. For Veeam Backup and Replication, we query the malware events, of course. We also query if there is a configuration backup or the repository status, capacity-wise. And if you have configured it, the threshold applies, we generate an incident. For Veeam ONE, we query the security relevant alarms that are triggered in an error or warning state. And let me bring up the visualization for that, because as said, we provide here as well a dashboard. It looks a little bit different, but you also get the same nice information out from it. First of all incidents, or Veeam Backup and Replication incidents, or Veeam ONE incidents. And the difference here is when, let's for example, we have an incident, you have a case. Let me open up this guy here. There is no configuration backup. So the analyst gets information within the incident, which is the, let's say, product that was coming in, the source instance, so VBR server 01. And what's possible then here is running a work plan, running a playbook. And the integration currently offers 4 playbooks. Yes, I know there are 5. The 5th one on the bottom is created by myself. You can create your own because we offer some commands also with the integration. I will come that right afterwards. But here you could run the start configuration backup. I will not do it currently because it will trigger it and then we have to wait until it's finished. I will bring up another incident just to show you how does it look like, what's possible. So, because we also have Veeam ONE in place, security and compliance state. Okay, there was an alarm about that coming from this Veeam ONE server. Also here, yes, let's go into the work plan, select the playbook, and then the analyst can resolve or approve the alarm, because here it's waiting for user input. Let's click on it. I just want to acknowledge it, not resolve, because I need to do further investigation. And then mark this task as completed. And now we will resolve the alarm using REST API, closing this investigation in this case here, and it will give you a nice feedback that you're awesome. I like that, by the way. I was talking about commands. Let's go back to another incident just as an example. And let's say we have a regular incident. There are other dashboards, but it's easier to go in here. Then I quickly have something, because here it's called War Room or Playground. You can run commands against your endpoints. So let's run a command against Veeam Backup Replication. Let's ask for restore points for this specific machine. And let's see if we do have clean restore points available. Yes, we do have only 2. And what I see here, they are quite old. So that might be the case if the last backups found something suspicious, or either the restore points were marked as infected. So let me quickly bring up this command. I'm not sure. Oh, that's the alert, yes. Hopefully you didn't hear it. Let me just bring up this command here. Yes, there are restore points. You can limit the output, of course. The latest one from yesterday, but the malware status is suspicious. So here it might be good to restore the machine. Here we provide the playbook for instant VM recovery manual. So you can say, I want to restore it in this place and do a scan. That's possible, of course. So those are the actions we are providing currently to the Palo Alto Networks customer. I now switched back to the Cortex XIM just to show you what's possible in this, what I think you get it here, playground. So the same commands are available as well here, of course. I do have some history. Takes some time here. That's from yesterday, but I think you get it. Here I checked the malware events, the latest ones, and the last was yesterday from August 6th about suspicious files that were found in a backup. So that's it for Palo Alto Networks. I now switch to another product. Probably you already see here on the top left-hand corner, CrowdStrike, and probably no surprise for you. Yes, here we provide two dashboards. Here we have the CrowdStrike Falcon log scale environment. Falcon log scale enables security teams as well to collect, search, and analyze the data in real time, of course, for threat detection. And the look and feel, you see, maybe the colors are a little bit different, but you see here, it's close the same. We here have also some 4-eyes authorization events. Then what happened for the past 30 days. So here it was quite calm. And the tabular view. And then also on the bottom, the 4-eyes authorization events by operation. I will bring up the other dashboard here because there is much more data in it now. So just to give you the idea, here, yes, there are problems, a lot of failed jobs, a lot of successful jobs also. But here it looks like the VM environment, the virtual environment, there we really have a lot of failed jobs. Maybe servers are not running anymore. Also, the copy jobs are failing then, which is also a bad sign. Let's scroll down. How about the other jobs? File backup, object storage backup, that looks good. And here the nice thing is you can expand the other services we protect or applications like Entra ID or enterprise plugins like Oracle or Microsoft SQL. Here it doesn't look that bad. Backup copy jobs and tapes. So never forget tapes for air-gapped backups. Here, tapes. How does it look like? Oh, all green except for the verification. What we also provide to the analyst, maybe the most interesting here, is the unsuccessful VM backups. You see the machine name, and here we see two machines that are failing constantly. Maybe they got turned off, maybe they were encrypted, but you already see it real time in the dashboard. What's also possible is, has been updated, nice. Of course, you can always search here within the product. That means let's search for famous 41600 event. Yes, we had two here. You can also filter then by activity type. Here the activity type I want to check is antivirus scan, enter. There was no scanning for the last day. Let's check for the last 2 days. Yes, here something has been scanned and we detected threats. So of course, by not only you can get the data not only from the dashboards, but also from the search fields, which is available in almost every product, I would say. Automation, here it's not called reports, but also here automation, you see it, you can define schedules for this security events or malware events that happened for the past 24 hours or the triggered alarms. And you can define actions here as well. In Falcon log scale, for example, you can do an email, send an email, or call a webhook to probably trigger an automation. So those are two possibilities. There are more available, but it all depends what is the security vendor offering in this case. What you also get is the parser. Why I'm now talking about the parser or the parsers in general. There is another integration for another product from CrowdStrike. Let me quickly log in to it. Security, automatically log out. And where is it? Short break. 893. So what's that? Here we are in CrowdStrike Next Gen SIEM. As you can already hear from the name, Next Gen SIEM is also AI powered. The platform is AI powered, and they also help security teams to detect, investigate, and also respond to threats that are coming in from the different endpoints. And here the difference to the CrowdStrike Falcon log scale is we provide a data connector together with a parser. And here what we do have then in Next Gen SIEM is to parse the data, to generate the fields, and then the analyst is capable of querying the data. Currently, we cannot provide a dashboard in the integration because it's technically not possible from the CrowdStrike side, but this will happen in the future, be possible in the future, and then be assured we will update our integration that it contains also a dashboard, because you see it here already, dashboards, it's available. Nevertheless, let's scan the same or query the same event for the past 2 days, antivirus scan. Let's see what's going on in this environment. Yes, the look and feel is a little bit different, but you see it here on the screen. Let me bring up my pen. So you see who was the VBR server, activity type antivirus scan, event ID 41600, and threats has been detected by the content scan. So you also get this information. You could currently create a dashboard on your own, of course, as long as you know what to search for. But as soon as we have the possibility to bring in dashboards and even also reports, we will do that for sure. So that's CrowdStrike, Falcon log scale, and Next Gen SIEM. Let's finalize the demo with Sophos. Sophos managed detection and response. It's a platform. It's a fully managed platform by Sophos 24/7, a cybersecurity service, I should say. Here, the customers can ingest Veeam backup and replication data through syslog. So what I showed before in the Veeam console, right? And depending on what's going on, they create cases, and the expert then will do the threat hunting for the customer because it's a managed service. Here, a case got created for a backup job that was deleted. But maybe more interesting is, hey, how about the other events that are happening? I was talking a lot about security events, 41600, remember that number. And here you already see, let's filter the severity type low. I don't like low here. So, but you already see it on the screen. Yes, of course, they also get alerted when ransomware got detected or a ransomware session finished. So it's not Veeam doing ransomware, by the way. It's our scanning session that happens, and here they are aware, okay, something started, something got triggered to scan, and most probably ransomware detected event comes up afterwards. Severity is critical, but more events are extracted from them. For example, you remember the 4 eyes authorization event. It's recommended to enable that, and then they have even more insight in your Veeam backup and replication environment. So that's it from the live demo part. Let me bring back the slide deck and do some advertisement first. I will check quickly now the Q&A session and the chat, just to see if I can answer something. Yes, there are questions. Very good, I like. Hi, yes, hey, I'm here. There was already some answer. Perfect, thank you from the Veeam team. Let's go back. There is one question from Alvin. The question is, assuming there is a storage integration on VBR configured and in use, are the restore point on the storage also valid restore points reported to Splunk, Palo Alto, etc., in addition to usual backups? So the question is, do we present the snapshots when you check for backups? That's a good question. I will double check that. I would say, I would not say no. I will prefer to check it and then come back to you with this, because it's a good question. Yes, snapshot, it's not a backup, it's a snapshot, but it's a valid point to restore from quickly. And I have to deploy something with snapshot with the Palo Alto just to double check, but I will come back to you with the answer. By the way, already some storage integrations, you saw it on the slide, some storage integrations there, they offer snapshot protection together with Veeam, so you cannot just delete the snapshots, they are protected for a period of time, a retention you set. So this is also possible, not only to protect your backup data, but also your storage snapshots. So also reach out to the vendor, what's possible there, and maybe, if you're lucky, you have also an integration with Veeam as well. What else? Let me bring up the next slide before I say thank you for listening, right? I want to point to the community, the Veeam community we do have. Here you not only find useful scripts from the security area, you can also communicate or discuss with peers about several topics. But we also have our famous forums, the R&D forums, where really the PM team is answering questions, answering or getting your feature request. If something is missing, please let us know. But within the community, you will find also useful scripts, security-related useful scripts that helps in your daily challenge with the bad actors. And to finalize the session, I again want to thank you for joining us today. The demo is complete, the webinar as well. As well, when you have questions, always reach out to your Veeam sales team, to your Veeam SE peer with questions. We are really happy to help. And thank you for listening and watching, and hopefully see you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye, everyone.